Hello everyone, King Wizard here today with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Banlist discussion about the new banlist that was just released today, finally, after, 2 weeks of it being late. And, yeah, there's not too much good news, honestly. So I guess I will just go ahead and start with the good news. To 3, we have 3 Glow Bulb, Sinister Serpent, Dark Strike Fighter, Sacred Swords of the 7 Stars, Temple of the Kings, and Exchange of Spirit. To 2, we have Atlantean Dragoons and Dragon Ravine. So yeah, that's good. I like Dragon Ravine and Sacred Swords because if you've seen my Red versus Blue video, um, I did actually, run Sacred Swords at 3 in that deck. Um, and so now, it'll be legal and Dragon Ravine is going to be at 2, so it'll be even better for that. Um, Onto the bad side. Oh, well, another good thing I should mention. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, the Synchro, is now limit 1. It's now off the forbidden list. For the bad news, to start off, we have uh, a banned Lava Wall Chain. Now, I would understand this if they didn't hit the release of rituals, but they did hit the Jin. So the Jin lock is dead now. Which is a good thing. That is a good thing. But hitting Lava Wall Chain as well as the Jin monster, as well as release her rituals, is pretty redundant. As I've said in past videos, there's only 3 really relevant decks that can even use Lava Wall Chain, and it be quote unquote broken. And that would be, the Necros, which for the Jin lock, which they hit the release her rituals, so that's irrelevant. The Oni Loop FTK, which again is such a long ass FTK that not many people even have the stamina to do it in a tournament. So again, it's not really relevant either. And Infernities, and they've pretty much smashed Infernities into the ground. So again, that's pretty irrelevant too. Another kind of bad thing that they hit is that the only Necros that they hit outside of the Jin lock was Shuret to 1. And that's not really hitting them. If you don't know, most Necros decks will only run 2 Shurets, so this is only a -1. And, there are people who, in the ARG format, are still trying to run Necros, and the ARG format banned Trishula and limited Unicorn to 1, and banned the Jin lock. And there are people still trying to play Necros in the ARG format. And it's still a deck. It's still a viable deck in that format. So Necros are still going to be a thing. Necros are still going to be one of the top contenders. This new format with this new ban list, is going to be relatively the same as it already is now. Not much has changed. But so yeah, that's kind of a bad thing. But one thing that I feel like people are not thinking about is, Konami is a business. Now, I know people have been thinking about that aspect of it, and that saying that it doesn't even make sense from a business standpoint because there's no motivation to buy the newest sets because, the fact that these decks are still viable means that people are going to buy the better stuff over the new stuff. What I think it is, and this is just my theory, that this list is going to last all the way up until the 2015 Megatins come out, and which is September 18th, which is almost exactly 3 months away. Now I expect again like another 2-week intermission after the 3-month period, so I'm expecting a new ban list, or the ban list to be at the next ban list after the July ban list. I'm expecting it in October, and I think what they're going to do is this current ban list, the newest one, the July 16 ban list, is made to pretty much sell the 2015 Megatins. And I think these 2015 Megatins are going to have a lot of the stuff that was good in this past year. So I'm expecting a lot of Burning Abyss. I'm expecting some Shaddolls. I'm expecting Klees and Stellar Knights. Just the good top decks. Not all of them, just like key cards from those archetypes. Like like maybe like a Trishula or a Unicorn or a Valkyris, one of those three from Necros. Maybe a Construct or a Winda, maybe both. Maybe Towers and Stealth and Scout, and maybe like Alpha and Deneb. For Burning Abyss, maybe like Dante and Virgil. Not the entire archetype, just key cards from the archetype. That, the expensive ones, kind of like what they did with last year's Megatins. If you don't really recall, last year's Megatins had basically all of the expensive extra deck cards reprinted. It had Big Eye, it had Dracosac, it had Exciton Knight, it had 101. Um, all the really expensive extra deck cards from that previous year. Um, so I'm expecting this Megaton to be a lot like that. Um, and the fact that all these decks now are still playable means that it's gonna hype these tins up more. And then immediately after they sell these tins for about a month to a month or a few, then they're gonna release the new ban list, and then it's probably gonna be hitting a lot of the top decks, or at least I don't expect like a full nuke of them, like a lot of people predict, but like the soft predictions that people have, that's when I'm expecting it. If anything, this new ban list is almost just kind of like an emergency ban list. It's not technically an emergency ban list, but I'm not treating it like an official ban list. It's just kind of like an intermissionary ban list, I guess, in between the April to pretty much October. This isn't changing this isn't changing the format at all. It's just pretty much the only thing that's really doing competitively is getting rid of the Genlock. And that's it. So basically we're going to have the same format from April all the way up until October, and then that's when the real hits are going to happen. And the main reason why they're going to do that is to help sell the Megatins. So that's just my theory. I think it is pretty solid just because the August set that we're getting, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, isn't very, there's not too much hype around it. And if anything, I expect more hype around the Megatins because, that's the previous Megatins were really hyped, and for good reason too. It was a good set. There was a lot of reprints. So it sold really well. And I expect this to be sold really well just the same because, on top of that, it even has, good confirmed reprints just in the promos, being Elder Entity Norden, Majesty's Fiend, and Castel. So that there is enough reason for most people to buy them, especially because of Norden. And, even since, these tins are going to be released relatively soon before the next ban list, I guess, means that I'm expecting Instant Fusion to be banned because Norden is a pretty ridiculous card. And so I'm expecting Instant Fusion to be hit in some fashion. Maybe not banned, maybe limit one. I don't know. But so yeah, that's my theory. Thanks for watching.